love how easy this recipe is, and I love that it's small batch because sometimes you just want 3 or 6 and you don't want the whole dozen. The first thing that I do is my milk and my coffee. I mix them together, I put them to the side. It helps if the milk is a little bit warm. You could use espresso or filter if you're fancy, but I really find that it just adds so much dimension to this cake, but it's optional and you can just use straight milk if you want to. Next, I have my butter. This is really soft, slightly warmer than room temperature because it's been sitting near the sun for a bit. It's not melted, but it just makes it so much easier to work with. Add your sugar and mix it until it's a really soft and light, airy texture. And then I'm going to add my egg. I'm using medium eggs. These are room temperature. I always crack my eggs into a bowl because if you get shell or something in the egg and you don't want it in, it is so much easier to remove from a little ramekin than from your batter. So that's just a little tip. I always do mine into a ramekin first. I find it easier. And I'm adding in 2 parts just because it's easier to mix. Here I'm adding my milky coffee. Skip the coffee part if you want to and just add milk. Or if you want to, you could add yogurt at this stage, just a tablespoon. I'm sieving in my dry ingredients and adding a little bit of salt. Salt is optional but definitely recommended. And cocoa always has lumps in it, so I always recommend sifting that. And then I'm going to divide my mixture into 3 and pop it into my muffin tin. Preheat your oven, 170 or 180 for 12 to 15 minutes and leave them on the side. Allow them to fully cool because if you put buttercream on top of a warm cake, the butter melts and you don't want that. Buttercream is so easy and it can be made by hand. Again, you really want that butter to be at room temperature or slightly warm. Even if your buttercream is a little bit softer than you want, that's fine. You can always pop it into the fridge after you've made it. I am making a large batch here. That is because I have a lot of cupcakes to frost. I'm not just making these cakes, but I will put in the description the actual amount that you need for this recipe, which is half because I've doubled this. Always sift your icing sugar and don't add it in one go. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is adding all of your icing sugar in one go because it's just so much harder to work with because you'll just end up with a cloud of powdered sugar. And I also add a little bit of milk and some flavouring to mine. You don't have to do either of those things, but the texture is softer and smoother. There's a little graininess that comes with not adding it, so I always do. I'm doing a quick temper for this chocolate. See the description box below because I've got a link to a website that's great if you want to know more information about it. But basically, I chop 60 grams of chocolate, fully melt 50, incorporate 10 at the end, and I get this really nice melted chocolate that's going to hold up once I have melted and made my decoration. Once you've done whatever decoration you want, pop it in the freezer for 15 minutes to firm up, and you have a really pretty decoration that you can put on top of your cupcakes. I'm using a jumbo round tip, but you don't need to use anything. You could just snip the end off a piping bag and go for it. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this recipe. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.